Hey guys, how are you? All right, we're into week 2 now, and I am in my full quarantine hobo glory, except I put on some lipstick for you, because that just makes it all better, I feel like. So I have a video that you guys are in for a treat. It was part of my last video, and I didn't include it because that one was already like 20 minutes long, and I felt like, okay, it doesn't need to be that long. That's kind of excessive. So I thought it actually can be like a standalone. And when I was telling my daughter, Dahlia, that I have this drunk crying video of myself that I'm going to post on YouTube, she was like, what the fuck, Mom? For real? Like, mm-hmm. I think it's good. I think it's real and it's genuine, and that's what I'm all about. So I'm gonna put it out there. So get ready for this. And then I actually finished my thought that I never finished in that. So there's like a lot of kind of loose ends that I felt were left from my previous video that I that night went back and filmed this part you're about to see, and I still didn't finish it because I had that one can of hard kombucha. So told you I was a cheap date. All right, enjoy, brace yourselves. So on the subject of root touch-ups, what's your opinion on it if you're a stylist or a client? I would love to hear both sides, professional and non. We as stylists really take pride in the fact that we do a professional color service versus what you can do at home. So I think a lot of stylists have negative opinions about this. And generally speaking, I don't want you doing your color at home either, but I don't want you messing it up. So I would like, if you could, for you to express your opinion below in the comment section. And then there's another kind of controversial subject amongst hairstylists that's been going around on Instagram this past week about stylists working with what's going on right now. Like a lot of stylists, including myself, are pressuring other stylists to stop working behind the chair and to stay home. And others are coming to the defense saying, of the other side, saying that there are people that can't afford to not work, and that, sorry, it's that kombucha. Spiked kombucha. There are people that can't afford to take that time off. Like if they don't work today, they can't eat tomorrow, kind of thing. So when I had the subject kind of brought to my attention, that prompted me to post the rant that I did on my Instagram last week, it was because I had about 10 stylists reach out to me. And of that 10 stylists, I would say maybe 8 of them could survive 3 weeks with no work. It would be hard. They might not be able to make their car payment or their credit card payment like I won't be able to be doing. But you can figure it out and make it work. I'm reaching out to all of those people and I'm going to say, hey, this is my situation, and they are going to work something out with me. Same with my landlord. Both of my landlords here at my home and at the salon, I've had to reach out and say, hey, so I'm not allowed to work and I'm not making an income, and I can survive a few weeks, but I can't survive beyond that, and a few weeks is a huge stretch for me. So I'm in a tight situation myself. You know, this is not like easy where I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine, I've been needing a vacation anyway, you know. And don't get me wrong though, while I'm in it, I'm appreciating it. You know, it's stressful and I don't know where the money is going to come from, but at the same time, what's that going to buy me if I live in that space, you know, where I'm focused on, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Where am I going to get the money? Having this kind of scarcity mindset isn't going to get me anywhere. So instead, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do what I can and things are going to work out. And in my life, that's just the way it's been. You know, I said that in my rant video. Like, if you do the best that you can and you're doing everything that you can and you're being genuine and real and being a good human, you get rewarded and things work out. It's because that's been my experience. And things don't always work out maybe exactly how you think you want them to in the moment, but when you look back at like the course of events, you see that actually, like, yeah, that's just the way it's supposed to be. Okay, I have a story for you. So when this is 5 years ago, 2014, I had a boyfriend, and it was my last like long-term relationship, and we were together for a few years, like 2, 3 years, and he one day just up and broke up with me, and we like together didn't really have any problems, but we both had teenage daughters, and that was kind of an issue for different reasons. And so I think that just became too much for various reasons for him. So he left, and that was the first time I've actually been dumped, and I was heartbroken, like heartbroken. And all of my friends were like, what just happened? I can't believe, like, you guys were like the, like, you know, like most amazing couple, whatever. And I was like, yeah, well, shit happens. Yeah, I don't know. And I was really devastated. And then that was in July. And then in, what was it? October of that year, my salon owner, I was a renter at the time, my salon owner came to me and he said, hey, I don't have money for this month's rent. And I was like, it's October 14th. You mean November coming up? And he's like, nah, October. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to scramble. I had no money saved. I was just still kind of like getting on my feet from my divorce. And and I was not like fully planted on my feet yet, to be clear. And so I somehow worked it out where I took over the lease, I took over his space, and I renamed the salon Phoenix Hair Salon, and have built it into the space that I have today. So looking back at the time that I got dumped, I was heartbroken, and I had plans for my future that now everything was like tossed aside, and I didn't even know what my plans were anymore. So backing up even further, the month before he left me, you're gonna see me cry now. So the month before he left me, I had good friends that they were moving away. So I'm getting emotional just talking about it. I'm not even there yet. They were moving away, and we like got together as two couples to have drinks, and we exchanged cards. Like, I gave them like kind of a thank you going away card. It was, you know, husband and wife, and it was for the wife. And she had just been, shit. Nobody ever sees me cry, but I cry every time I tell this story. Wow. I went from being awkward in the last video to being like so real. So she's a real inspiration to me. She's a very intelligent woman, a very fair, kind, funny, just all around a really amazing human that I've been blessed to know. And I wanted her to know that. So I wrote her a card basically saying thank you and good luck. So she hands me a card because it was my birthday in June. And we're sitting by the fire, and I had had some drinks, and look at the card, and it's like, I'm trying to remember exactly what it says, but the cover of the card says, "Remember the rules, there are no rules." And I open it up and it says something like, "We're very proud of you and we hope you don't mind a little helps from some angel investors towards towards Susan's place one day." And I looked down and it was a check for $5,000. I was like, I was speechless. I don't even think I said anything about it until we left, and I whispered to her, "Thank you. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know when I'll have that opportunity to take over that salon, but I can't tell you what this means to me." And for me, it was, anyone who knows me knows that I don't respect a lot of people. I'm cool with a lot of people, but to really earn my respect, that bar is very high. And she was somebody who I respected so much. And I think just the feeling that I had that I earned her respect, it's still really, I like, more than anything, that is like what moves me so much. Because I've really worked hard to be who I am today, which is why I started this YouTube and my blog, because I want to help others. Like, I was not this person 20 years ago. I was the person who was married to an alcoholic and miserable and trying to make the best of it because I was too scared to do anything. And now I've taken over a salon. I've mentored others. I've raised my daughter by myself. I've started a YouTube, and now I'm facing this crisis by myself, you know? You're really capable of a hell of a lot more than you even realize until you're put in that position, like we all are right now with this global crisis. So, how did I even get here? I don't even remember how I got here. Scarcity mindset, being scared. I don't even remember how we got here. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to try to find it. It's been a long day, and it's the kombucha, I think, is not helping me. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that rare side of me crying and my drunken story time. It only takes one kombucha, apparently. Now that I'm more clear-headed, I wanted to make my actual points. And they were back to the root kit. Okay, so first, when people started asking me about it, I was against it because I thought, if this is just 3 weeks, I don't want people messing with their color. And then within the first week of being ordered to shelter in place, I realized this isn't going to be 3 weeks. I think this is going to be longer. And all signs point to yes. And I think Gavin Newsom yesterday, the governor of California, said that we're looking at like 7 more weeks of this, 6 more weeks at least. So definitely we need to prepare for that. And so by providing these root kits, you're solving 2 issues. You're addressing 2 needs. You have a client with roots that's in need, that's likely going to break down and color their own hair as much as you like try to encourage them to wear cute headbands and hats. The likelihood of them lasting the full 2 months, if that's the case, is very slim. So you're addressing that. And number 2, your lack of income as a stylist. If you're not working for 2 months, you have to make some money. So that way you're helping yourself as well. So I am all for it now. And I make these cute little packages. So after this, I'm actually going to film a root touch-up tutorial so that they have like full instructions and there's no questions, and to the best of my ability, I have taught them how to do this, hopefully just this one time. But I don't think that diminishes from my professionalism. I think that shows I care. I don't know. So if you think differently or agree, I would like to hear. Either way, please leave me a comment. And then about the working from home, or the shop despite shelter-in-place orders. Look, my point with that is, unless you and your family will not eat because you're not working today, like you absolutely cannot afford to feed your family. I'm not talking about you won't be able to make rent this month, or you won't be able to make your car payment or your credit card payments. I'm talking about your basic necessities. If that is the case for you, I'm so sorry, and it's so heartbreaking that you have to make that choice. And I have no contempt towards anyone that's in that position whatsoever. Myself 10 years ago, I probably would be doing the same thing because I had no choice. But luckily I'm in a slightly different position now, although not comfortable, like, by any means. But I don't think this has to be such a divisive subject, like some of the posts that I've seen. So it reminds me of the book, The Coddling of the American Mind. And they talk about how nowadays there's such a tribal mentality, and we can't coexist peacefully if we have conflicting ideas, or if my idea can threaten your safety, or, you know, it's like, I can love you and I can still not respect your choices. And unfortunately, I think that's just going to be the way that it is right now. I know people are really like feeling like their backs are against the wall and they don't know what to do. And I have to say, this time is really going to show you, your friends, your coworkers, just everybody in your life that you know, really kind of what they're made of, what their true character is, what they value, who they value. It's a really interesting time we're all going through right now, and I'm sure that you have seen this, what I'm speaking of, yourself. So I guess I just want to say, I'm not trying to alienate anyone or draw any lines in the sand. I was just trying to spread awareness, and straight up, if you're working, you are contributing to the spread. That's just the facts. Like, you cannot argue that. And I just want people to be aware and, you know, let them know, hey, you have choices, and we're all going to struggle, but we'll make it through. But we really should do this for the sake of humanity. And if you're choosing to do that, know that that's what you're choosing, you know? That's all. So another way I've been like doing this analogy, I've had a lot of clients hit me up about this actually. And they're like, oh, I'll come to your house. You know, you can come to my house. You're clean, right? Like, so it reminded me of unprotected sex, okay? So instead of like clients, let's say for this analogy, you're having unprotected sex and we're talking HIV. So Johnny, your first haircut that you do at home post shelter-in-place orders, he has coronavirus, or in the analogy of unprotected sex, he has HIV, and you guys bone down. Guess what? Now you're carrying it. Then you go do Sally's highlight, Cindy's balayage, John's beard trim. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we just really have to be taking some protective measures. And if you're not, be real about what you are risking and how you're putting other people at risk. That's all. And then that brings me to another like conversation that's come up a lot in this week. So I know we've all been learning a lot. I think this has given a lot of people some better perspective on life and values and whatnot. And I'm wondering how many of you have thought, shoot, I should have been saving. When I became single, I realized that. Well, before that, I was with someone who was like a spender. And so I felt like I always worked so hard and never had anything to show for it. And then I struggled for a long time, and I couldn't even like afford my rent the first year. So over the years, as I've built, I've gotten to the point now where I've just started to kind of save a little bit. And so I'm lucky I have like a tiny bit, but it's really only like a month. Um, so you have to, like, again, check yourself and be real. If you are self-employed, you should have 6 months of your expenses in savings at all times. And I know for me, like, that hasn't been feasible, but I've been like working towards it. It's not like easy to just sock some money away like that. Um, but I will argue that there are a lot of people I know that have designer handbags or fancy whips, or, they choose to spend money on things that they're prioritizing. And now, in a time like this, how precious are those things to you? So, just a reminder that once we get to start working again, to start putting money away for yourself, because when something like this happens, you'll need it and you'll appreciate it, and you won't be stressing and struggling like you might be today. So thank you for watching, and hope to have one of these up in a couple days. We'll see. I'm actually really busy considering I'm not working, hustling, doing all my other little what can I do in the interim things. But take care of yourselves, stay healthy, please stay home, and I'll see you soon.